Join me today as Kidderminster Carolians Ladies travel to a tough and scrappy Stafford side. It's been 2 whole seasons since these sides last met, with Kidderminster yet to record a win against the Stafford first 15. As the rain poured, frustrations were high and eventually spilled over from both teams. Handling errors were aplenty, and both teams had to be resolute in their defence to stifle any promising attack. Can the ladies continue their winning run against a team towards the top of the table? Stick around to find out. And here's the team to play the Stafford ladies today. In the forwards, Scarlett, Amelia and Maddie packed down in the front row. Katie and Aya are the favoured second row pairing. And Squiggy, Tina and Lottie bring lots of firepower into the back row. For the backs, Jess captains the side today, with Frenchie in at fly half. Georgia and Emma Farmer are the centre pairings, with Tafty making her debut on the wing alongside Gemma and Kit. And off the bench, we have Jazz, Tori and Flo to bring some firepower when they get tired. So we join about 10 minutes into the game with Kitty on a promising attack here. It's been quite scrappy and quite dogged up until this point. Neither side really able to break the line, so Frenchie's able to put in a grubber kick behind the Stafford defensive line. It goes over the try line, but the fullback is there to dot it down for the goal line dropout. We're able to retain the ball after the goal line dropout, so Frenchie makes another darting run in between a couple of defenders and gets taken down kind of just within the 22. Ball comes out to Tafty. Tafty's able to make a run, offloads it to Kit. Kit's able to make a break down the wing, pops it back inside to Tafty, but the ball is judged to have gone forward. Kidder line out then, which goes awry, so the flank is able to make a fantastic line break here. Really able to gain some ground, some real metres here to push the Kidder defence back. Not ideal, obviously, but that's the of the game. Stafford then really continue to piling on the pressure, really just trying to use brute force to break down the Kidder defence. Shifting the ball relatively well, but the ball goes a bit forward. So A is able to retain, pops the ball out to Gemma. Lovely little side step here to make some metres and just get into some fresh open space. But a high tackle's brought her down, which the ref eventually pings for. So Frenchie tries to put in a kick into touch, but it doesn't quite make it. So Stafford able to recollect. Emma Farmer tries to make a fantastic tackle, but unfortunately just goes missed. And Frenchie here probably just a little bit lucky to get away with an accidental knock-on, maybe not a deliberate one. Scrum then down to Kitty, and Frenchie makes a clearing kick. The 15 had loads of time to deal with this, so it's able to pick up nicely. Nice little pass off to the winger. Winger is able to make a few metres before it gets taken down. I think it's Squig on the floor, really just trying to make sure the player comes down. And Stafford really building up the play here, really doing well, just to try and break through that Kidderminster line. I think the defence today was on point. A few tackles were missed all over the park, but that was just the nature of the game. The rain was heavy, it was coming down, and it was a really tough, really aggressive fight between the two teams. Stafford again just trying to break down the defensive line, really just doing whatever they can do just to power over, making some really good metres just by taking the ball from coast to coast, which is fantastic. And they're doing really well to protect the Rex as well. Ball comes out to 7. A couple of tackles come in, which is good. And then Scrum half gets the ball, pops it off to the 10. 10 puts a nice little cheeky chip in over the top. It's not dealt with at the back. So judged to have gone backwards and goes over the try line. And it's a dash. And, well, the referee was talking to both captains. Gives a try because he thought it was not backed by Kitty, and so then the conversion is also missed. Bit of an injury here, so it took some time to look at some trains. I used to ride those trains when I went to university. Funnily enough, it's a bit weird looking back at it. But anyway, Kitty scrum comes out to Frenchie, comes out to George, gets tackled, but we're brought back from a late tackle on Frenchie. Kitty line out, Frenchie out to Tina, out to George. Miss pass to Kate to Emma Farmer, pass on to Gemma. Gemma's able to offload to Kit, kick back inside to Gemma, but Gemma's swallowed up in the tackles by the Stafford players. Ball comes out to Jess. Maddie takes it in, but I think this one was not rolling away. So Kiddy get a penalty, kick to the corner. It's knocked on by a Stafford player trying to just prevent it going out, so Kiddy get the resulting scrum from that. And Kiddy get the ball out to Emma, miss pass to Emma Farmer, to Kit, and the ball just goes forward from Flo, who's now on for Tafty because Tafty suffered an injury. And a bit later on, Kiddy get a scrum, pick and go from Tori, knocked on from Emma Frenchie. A bit of a mess up at the back, so Frenchie kicks it on, rather. Little pick off the floor, gets the scrum, gets the ruck down, and then Squiggy does what Squiggy does and just barrels over for a try. So that is 5-5 now between Stafford and Kiddy. And again, it just shows how tight things were within the game. Just unable to make the additional 2 points, and that was pretty much the last play of the first half. So again, Stafford kicking off the second half with really bringing the ball up towards Kiddy, really trying to make us work. Crash balls all the time throughout the defence. There's a lot that had to miss in this game just because it was that tight in the middle of the pitch. It was one of those games, but the ball comes out to the winger. Kit is able to make Flo's able to make a cover tackle to stop the winger. Again, they're kind of crash balling it through, really doing whatever they can do just to try and prevent Kiddy, or make some space for Kiddy to get up for basically stop us from defending. But again, pulling out the ball wide, really doing what they can do. Referee here was kind of calling no hands, with that wasn't any ruck formed, so it was a bit confusing for some of the players who were getting a little bit frustrated. But fantastic with side steps to try and avoid a tackle, but was actually made a cover tackle, which is great. Decided to go the blind side, and it was just a guessing game really between the two teams. We didn't know really who was going to be scoring the next try because it was just that tight. But ball then comes out the ruck, another crash ball through, really getting tight on the defensive line, on the try line here, because anything can happen. Really trying to spread the hands, just cut inside, and ball landed short. But it was deemed, actually they stopped play because of an injury. So Kiddy with an early push here, so free kick to Stafford. And good sight by the Stafford just to take a quick tap and go, and then just to crash ball over the try line for another try. So again, no conversion points added on here, but this is Stafford really building up, really getting going with their attacks. They're 10-5 good at home. It was really tough here. Lottie with a fantastic cover tackle, which is great. She's an absolute menace. Then we've got great tackle here by Tina. Ball comes out to the 10 spreads it out, and Jazz with a fantastic tackle. They've done great so far this season. They've really come on. It's their first season playing rugby, and to make a tackle like that when it's only your fourth or fifth game, it's always going to be a confidence booster. But Stafford really breaking through the line now. Doing whatever they can do just to break down that Kiddy defence. Quick ball out, another fantastic tackle by Emma Farmer. And then Kiddy just called for offside, which is unfortunate. But again, they take a quick tap and go. Jazz with another fantastic tackle just to try and break down the attack. And it's slowing down. Quick pick and go around the blind side. And the ball goes forward. Kit's able to collect it, but it comes back for penalty for the high tackle. But actually, the referee gives it for a knock on. This is something where the referee just marches Stafford back 10 metres. I think it's for talking off, but I'm not entirely sure. Again, another fantastic line. She just goes forward. Squiggy doing what Squiggy does. Again, just making some extra metres, going down the blind side, and just gets taken out by 2 or 3 Stafford players. Again, she's an absolute menace. Kit picks up the ball, offloads to Jazz. Jazz tries to offload it, but unfortunately she doesn't go anywhere. And it's just recollected, but Kiddy get the penalty for offside. Kiddy line out just goes awry, but we're able to retain the ball. So some fantastic done by Tori and Amelia. Ball comes to Jazz. Jazz able to just break it down, just to slow down the play. and Frenchie tries a little grubber kick, but it doesn't go through. So Kitty on the back foot a little bit. Tina just slowing things down by taking the ball to ground just to try and get some territory. Emma Farmer, I don't know how she's able to hold that ball, but she's doing some magical things with it. So Kitty again just retaining possession, comes out to Kit, comes out to Jem, and Jem's just a bit swallowed up by a few Stafford players, but it's offside. So referee has a chat with the Stafford captain just for the accumulation of penalties. Number of offsides up until this point. So Kitty with a tap and go, Tori with a crash ball through and just gets taken out. Fantastic hit by the Stafford player. That's a real rib breaker, that one. But Kitty again getting another penalty for not rolling away, which nothing really came to anything of that. So this is an accumulation of Stafford's attack. They really come at us. Again, another phase of play in the second half, spreading the ball out wide. We're just trying to shift the Kitty defence. Balls coming loose. Balls does go loose, but Stafford are able to retain here. It's a slippy pitch, it's a wet pitch, and I don't know if you've seen the rain falling in the video yet, but it was an absolute torrid day to try and play on. So ball comes out, ball's just continuously coming along, but referee, I think in the second, just stops play here for an injury to Amelia, which is unfortunate. And tempers start flowing. I think allegedly there was one of the Stafford players laughing about it, which I think she didn't take too kindly to. But as you can see, nothing really but handbags. It's not really what one want to see in the game because it was spoiling an otherwise fantastic contest between the two teams. But I think both teams are lucky to get away with no cards. I think one card for each offender would have been fair in that one. But anyway, we get the ball. Frenchie puts in a clearance kick, aimed behind the defence. The winger here just eating up the meters. There's no chase from Kitty, unfortunately. And again, Stafford just using that to mark the way up the pitch, get some real territory. Comes out to the other winger, who makes an offload to the centre. Two Kitty players unable to make the tackle. The player falls just short of the line, unfortunately. Can't quite see it because there's people on the pitch. Don't know where the respect barriers were on that one. But Jazz, another tackle, just trying to stop the defence. And Stafford really just building up here, getting the ball out. Another crash ball attempt. Just trying to get the ball wide just to see where else it goes, but ball went forward. So Kitty then try pass the ball out to some width. But the ball's gone forward within the 5 metre line, which is not ideal. So Stafford get the scrum. It comes out, just passing the ball out. Some flows left on her own, and there's a 2-person overlap. And they go over for their third try of the afternoon. It was pretty textbook, to be fair. It's just unfortunate that Kitty weren't able to do anything about that. So ball comes out. It's Kitty on the attack again. Squiggy's just charging 3 people as Squiggy does. It takes 2 or 3 people again to take her down. She's that much of a firepower monster. Ball comes out of Jem, is able to avoid a couple of tackles, so she brings it out, gets taken down. Ruck gets set up, and Kitty is able to retain the ruck. Comes out to Scarlett. Scarlett's unable to power over as she usually does. So again, we're just building up the phases of play, just trying to do whatever we can to just get a foothold in the game. It's in the dying moments of the game. Really, it's not too much. But Emma comes out, and Emma to Farmer, able to again secure it. Ball's a bit loose, but it gets turned over. But the high tackle gets pinged for high tackle. So Gemma takes the ball quickly, pass it to Squiggy. Squiggy's able to avoid the tackle, make it a brain line, and there's a high tackle. She gets taken outside and gets taken down. A little bit frustrated, obviously, given the severity of it. So yellow card is shown to the Stafford player. And here we are in the last throws of the game, really. Penalty to Tina. So Tina takes the ball, tries to pass it out. Still got retaining possession of the ball. Doing whatever we can do, but the Stafford defence pretty resolute. Everyone's tired, everyone's hungry, everyone's cold because it is just a horrible rainy day. Emma Farmer takes the ball down. Fortunately, the ball goes a bit loose in the ruck, so eventually we're still able to retain it, but Kit takes it down. Ball definitely goes loose. Stafford able to turn it over. big hit in from Jem. Kiddy doing whatever we can do to try and turn it back over. Ball comes out to the 8, comes out to the winger, and gets taken down. The ball comes out to the second row. Again, just wrapping it all up. Penalty advantage to Stafford for the high tackle, but the 10 just gets the ball and kicks it into touch, and that is the game. So congratulations to Stafford on the win. It was a very intense game of rugby with lots of tackling from both sides. One of the good things to see in the game was the team starting to gel, especially after the introduction of a few new players throughout the season so far, which is great. And I think we've also been quite competitive in all of the games as well. Usually within 10 points of the winning score. So, we can't complain too much about that. So if you like what you see, please do like and subscribe to keep updated as to when new videos are coming out. I do have a couple of backlogs videos to get out before the new year or just after the new year. So they'll be coming out very shortly. So do stick around to find out. We'll see you all in the next one.